G'day there, I'm Jackson Jones and welcome to TheBiker.Bar. And thanks for tuning in for this highlights version of an interview I had earlier with the king of biker music, Pat Savage. Remember, if you like this video and you enjoy this channel, please remember to subscribe. Opened up and shared the stage with some huge names in the music industry.
To name a couple of my favorites out of all the hundreds would be Joe Cocker in Portugal, 55,000 people. We do our show and everybody loved it. And then Joe came up and we were all just like, bow the hell from out, right? So the lighters. And when we went out front, the band, I'm tearing up, actually. It was very emotional. And he was wonderful. Afterwards, we got to talk to him for quite a while. He was sober; he wasn't drinking anymore. And he went to bed, and we stayed up with the band, which was really an all-star band. But yeah, it's inspiring. Probably one of the biggest was B.B. King in Helsinki. It wasn't a biker thing; it was just a blues concert.
Yeah.
And if I can tell the story, I'll keep it quick.
Yeah, go for it.
After the show, one of his, I think it was his nephew, came knocking on our door backstage and said, "Yeah, BB would like to meet you." And I was like, "Great, wow, the king of the blues, wow, fantastic." And I walked in the door, and he's sitting there with Lucille in his hands. Right? And I'm about to say, "I'm not worthy, Wayne's World," like totally, and I'm, blown away, enamored, because he had everybody just eating out of his hands. And he said, I've seen a lot of musicians in my lifetime, but I never heard nobody play no barking dogs and kitty cats on the guitar. How do you do that?" And I was like, really? You never heard anybody do that before? And he goes, "Yeah, well, did you learn that, or did you do it your own?" And I said, I guess, excuse me, I guess it's my own. I had to think about it, but I don't know. I guess I sort of got it on my own. I don't remember really. Yeah. And then he goes, "Here," and hands me Lucille. I'm like, the Holy Grail, like I'm not, the sword of, yeah, sword in the stone. And so I just I think I took off my belt so that it didn't scratch, and I just grabbed Lucille and I go, "Well, you take the pick, and listen, all you guitar students, and you just on the big strings, it goes rough, rough, rough." Now everybody in the room starts laughing. "Oh, that's funny." Well, he had a bunch of nephews, cousins, a couple of his sons were there. It was like a big, big thing. Yeah. And I said, and then the kitty cat, you go up high and you go, you just bend the string. And I even did it without the, on Lucille. For me, it was like I was just vibrating from the whole experience. We went to Daytona in 91, I think it was, to play serious concerts, and at a sound check, I think it was Lynyrd Skynyrd and Marcia Tucker we were opening up for, which was, at the time I was a lot younger and a lot thinner, and my guitar player, my bass player Murphy, had tuned my guitar to open E. Okay, which a lot of the old blues guys, it's good for slide guitar and stuff. You have an open, I don't know if you know how to play guitar, but it's an open tuning. So all of a sudden we're doing sound check, and Tyler, my drummer, starts going on his tom-toms, just sort of testing out the sound. I picked up the guitar and I was like, and then I took a slide and went, like Bo Diddley almost. And I just started, it just like flew out of me, hog wild, baby, baby, hog wild. Got my motor running. I mean, I intuited the whole thing. I never wrote a word before. Excuse me. And so after the sound check, I went to my hotel and I sort of scribbled out, 3 verses, more or less, based on what I intuited, which a lot of my music comes from that. I think most musicians and artists, it's an intuition. And so, so we played it. And after the concert, I had the owner of Harley Davidson. I can't think of his name. I was thinking about it all night, of Harley Davidson Daytona, and the head of the Chamber of Commerce guy, like pushing each other. Let me talk to him first. No, I want to talk to Q. And I said, both you guys, come on, relax. There's enough of me. You can talk. And they said, we'd like to use this song as the theme song for Daytona. And I was like, wow, what an honor. Yeah, that would be great. He said, you just have to change the thing about, hey, Claudia. Claudia was the owner of the Bank, one of the famous bars in Daytona,
Yeah.
double tiered place, really lovely. We played there that year too. And I said, hey, Claudia, bring us another one of those doubles, Daytona style, ooh, I want to ride. And he was like, drinking and riding. And I was like, yeah. But I still didn't change it. I didn't change it because the truth is that they allow a certain amount of drinking. The cops are everywhere for safety, obviously. Nowadays, no way. This was way back in
Yeah.
early 90s. Now, because of bike wrecks and things, it's really stronger laws. Excuse me. But that's how that sort of evolved. Hog Wild. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, I should start writing songs about riding and Harleys and the travel. And so that's how the whole sort of biker music thing happened. I think it was 91. And then we went full on. And by 99, 2000, I was the #1 biker band in North America because we played all that we did from we started in February and do different dates besides Daytona.
Yep.
And then we'd end up in Myrtle Beach Bike Week, and then Laconia is in June, and we just work around that.
Yeah. Right.
And by the end in Sturgis in August. So yeah, we became the #1 biker. And so then this fellow came from Germany, and he showed up and said, "Oh, you should come to Germany." I said, "They got Harleys over there?" He said, "Dumb question." And he said, "Yeah, of course we have Harleys. What do you think?" And I was like, "I don't know. I never even thought about it." So the next thing you know, I'm in Europe. I did a small tour through Hog. I did the Benelux Hog Rally, which is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, and they change it every year between the three countries. So I played there. It made a big impression.
Yep.
And went to Germany, did some recording, and saw his studio. And then by the next year, I was 2004, signed with Sony Berlin. And away we went.
So you were writing a column for Thunderpress magazine called Savage Roads. Was that an inspiration for your new TV series?
Marjorie Kleinman approached me and said, "Why don't you write about your travels?" And so I have the column, Savage Roads, and that sort of started, a whole bunch of ideas in my head. Well, why don't I start filming the events and the travel to the events and things like that? And it just slowly graduated into the idea of a show that's based around a traveling musician who happens to ride a Harley.
That brings us to the actual show itself, and I'd like to show a short trailer.
I think this is the unfinished version, so I could do the voiceover. As far back as I can remember, I always played guitar. Messed around with the drums as well. But the one thing I really loved was Harley Davidson motorcycles. And I always dreamt one day I would travel around the world on a Harley Davidson. Welcome to the Savage World. Wow. I get emotional. And when we were, I'm crying. I'm big tough guy. Our show is about food, history, architecture, music, of course, and cultural things, spiritual things. Yeah, so it's more like a travel show.
Yeah.
I'm riding a Harley. That's my brand, and I like other bikes too. But I'm also going to be riding donkeys and camels and whatever, ATVs and jet skis and whatever each episode brings, and scuba diving. And I want to do hang gliding and try different things in different locations, depending on the country and the weather and that sort of stuff. North Norway, we'll be running with reindeers and whale watching, and yeah, all sorts of neat nature. Nature is also very important, because when you're on the bike, you're one with nature. Just straight up, it's all about the ride.
Yeah.
That's our key phrase, all about the ride. So Spain will be our first episode, then Italy, then we're slated to go next month to Portugal.
Yep.
And then we're coming here to Morocco, then to Egypt, Jordan, and Palestine or Jerusalem. And then that's like half a season right there, 6 episodes. And then we're going to go north to England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, where my family comes from.
Yep.
And then 4 more. And then we'll go to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. And that's a wrap. 1 season, 12 weeks, and a box set.
Have you met any characters along the way?
God, it's full of characters. Those uglies, the guys you just saw there, the uglies, they're 2 Germans, a couple Spaniards, a Belgian guy. Every single one of them has a story, and they're very, they're all characters. They're like a cartoon in a way.
I'd imagine there'd be a whole lot of planning that goes involved in doing something like this. Even 1 or 2 episodes, but let alone 12.
Yes, and then no also. I just had the thought, yes and no. There's a kind of a format. Okay, today we're going to the pyramids, and it's like anything can happen day. We have a structured day. We're going here, here, and here. But what happens is pretty spontaneous. And a lot of our viewers aren't going to be bikers. You know, the biggest thing about American Chopper or Sons of Anarchy, bikers watch it. Okay, but it's regular people, like little kids, like, wow. And so I wanted to be family geared. Like I said, I'm hoping to reach everyone, from small to old, from little people to old, in all cultures and all religions, a unified vision of the world. It's all about the ride and what comes with it, the food, the roadside attractions, the music, the bands. Of course, there'll be a lot of focus on music. Whenever we play in each country, we'll have music from that area. Yep. Some of my music's in there, some of my, we have also a lovely collection of musicians that I've discovered over the years from South Africa, from North Norway, from all over the place. I think we're at about 8 artists, and I want to keep it down to about 10 tops. And their music will be sprinkled throughout our production. It's a project. It's a lot of work, but I'm a worker bee. So and I've got a great team now. I'm building a really nice team.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that everyone watching today will, now that they've learned about it, I'm sure they'll be looking forward to it as well. I appreciate that you've taken the time to come and talk to me today. It's a real pleasure talking to you, and it always is.
Great. Thank you very much.
Happy travels.
Savage Roads.